MDC pamwechete nemutungamiri wavo vaDouglas Mwonzora vova vekutanga kuendesa vaMnangagwa kuConstitutional Court mushure mekunge vaMnangagwa vasaina CAB3 chinova chiri chitiko chatenderedzwa chiziviswa kuruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe zvichiziviswa kunzi Douglas Mwonzora takes Mnangagwa's term extension law to Constitutional Court. Kusangana kwataita zvakare pana paYouTube channel yenyu yeMagaba News patinokubatirai nhau dzakasiyana-siyana dzinenge dzichiitika munharaunda nemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe, tichiti kana pane vachangosvika ndiwo mukana wekubaya button rakanzi subscribe. Today we have a news from Douglas Mwonzora anozivikanwa kunzi Douglas Togara sei Mwonzora anova president weMDC anova vanyora mapepa akananga kuConCourt anova ari mapepa atiri kuratidzai pamufananidzo wepascreen mushure mekunge vanyora ivo vachiisa marespondents panhau iyi pachiiswa President Emerson Mnangagwa and also Parliament of Zimbabwe and Minister of Justice and Parliamentary Affairs and Attorney General. So pana Virginia Mabiza ana ziyambi pamwechete nava Mnangagwa nevatongi vekuparliament ndivo vaiswa kunzi ndivo vanhu vari kuendeswa kumazitare edzimhosva. So mukunyora kwavo vanyora vachizivisa pamusoro pechitiko chekubvumirwa kusainwa kwakaitwa CAB3 vachiti havasi kubvumirana nazvo, vachionawo panhau yemutemo yenyika yeZimbabwe vachiti zviri kukanganisa mutemo munyika yeZimbabwe. So according to news maererano netsamba yanyorwa navaDouglas Mwonzora, the Movement for the Democratic Change has taken a Zimbabwe newly enacted Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026 to the Constitutional Court, asking the country's highest court to declare key parties of the law unconstitutional. The argument application was filed in Harare by MDC President Senator Douglas Mwonzora. In the court papers, the party names the President Emerson Mnangagwa Parliament, the Minister of Justice and Legal Parliamentary Affairs, and the Attorney General as respondents. According to affidavit filed by Mwonzora, the central argument is that President Mnangagwa signed the Constitutional Amendment Act into law on July 7 without first submitting it to a national referendum. The MDC said that this was required because the amendment affects constitutional rights protect under Zimbabwe's constitutional. One of the main issues raised in the application concerns Section 3 of the Amendment Act. The MDC said that this provision changes the way Zimbabwe elects its president. According to the court papers, the amended section provides for president to be elected by members of parliament sitting jointly at the National Assembly and senator instead of being directly elected by citizens through a national-wide vote. The affidavit said that this separate is a significant constitutional change because Zimbabwe citizens aged 18 and above are guaranteed the right to vote under Section 67(3)(a) of the Constitution. Mwonzora says the amendment effectively removed the public direct role in choosing the president and limited that the responsibility to members of parliament. In his affidavit, Mwonzora stated that these changes affect the Bill of Rights by implication. He said that because the amendment touches the constitutional voting rights, Section 328(6) required the proposal to be approved through a national referendum before it could receive presidential assent. The MDC further said that the president had a constitutional duty under Section 110(2)(f) to call referendum where required. According to the application, that obligation was not fulfilled before the amendment became law. The court papers also raised concern about what MDC described as a conflict of interest. Mwonzora said that President Mnangagwa was the director beneficiary of provision contained in the amendment, will also be the official respondents for approving the legislation. The application says constitutional safeguard exists to prevent such situation where an office holder approves changes that direct affect their own tenure. Beyond changes to a presidential election, the application noted that the Amendment Act introduced several other constitutional changes. Among them is a provision extending the presidential term of office from 5 years to 7 years. The law also extends the life of Parliament from 5 years to 7 years and applies those changes to the current office holders. The amendment also includes provision affecting the administration of election according to the Act. Responsibility for voter registration complying the voters' roll are shifted to the Registrar General, where the size of the senator is increased from 80 to 90 members, with the additional senators appointed by the president. In the affidavit, Mwonzora is that Zimbabwe has historically allowed and all eligible registered voters to elect the country's executive president. He says the new arrangement introduced what he described as a qualified functions, where only members of parliament will participate in choosing the head of state. Based on this argument, the MDC is asking the Constitutional Court to declare that the president failed to fully his constitutional obligation under Section 91, 110, 2F, and 328, 6 of the Constitution. The parties also required the court to strike down Section 3 of the Constitutional Amendment Act, urging that it was invalidly enacted. As an alternative, the MDC is asking the Constitutional Court to order that the amendment be submitted to a national referendum with 3 months of its passage by the Senator before it can remain in force. At this stage, this is argument presented by application in court documents. The Constitutional Court has not yet ruled on the matter, and the respondents will have an opportunity to file their response before the court reaches to a final decision. The court is expected to attract significant public and legal interest. It is asked the Constitutional Court to determine whether the constitutional amendment process comply with the Zimbabwe constitutional requirements. Until the court delivers in judgment, the legal issue raised remain before the judicial for the determination in Zimbabwe. So ndona wiri kutaurika, ndona wiri kubuda, and tikatasa vazhinji vakaita sana Profesa Madhuku vane tsambo yavo yavakaendesa, ende tikuona kuti Douglas Mwonzora ndiyewo vamwe zvakare anova akanyora bumbiro remutemo renyika yeZimbabwe panguva ya2013. Saka ndivo vamwe vari kuita chiitiko vachiramba zvinhu izvi. So tikuona kuti nhau idzi tikuramba tichitaurika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe, tamirira kuti makoti achange achitonga achiti chii. Ndiyo tsamba yamuri kuona yanyorwa ichiendeswa navaDouglas togara sei Mwonzora. Ndidzo nhau dzatanga tikabata pano paYouTube channel yenyu yeMagaba News.